racetracks and sunsets, as Dean Reynolds would say. Tonight, Thursday Night Thunder returns from the holiday break, and we're at Lima Land Motorsports Park in Ohio for the 358s, the big block modifieds, and the pro late models. Later on tonight, you'll see the Xfinity Series take on Homestead Miami Speedway.
Just done a 13.42.
Well, we're excited for a good one, ladies and gentlemen. We're so glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you. Well, let's get right into the action here for the evening. Qualifying is currently underway. And again, Happy New Year, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the holidays specifically. Well, here's what's happened in the past few weeks or so. A lot of fun stuff, to say the least. Isaac Salas and Brandon Templeton in our opening 2 races of the year are our winners. 15 points the advantage Salas has on Templeton at the moment. But it is still anyone's game, even with Logan Wentz, Sam Bachman, Trevor Giroux, all in the top 5. But this is a stacked car count. 32 technically, 33 officially. You want to know who the 33rd was? It was me. I was actually set to drive this one, and then I actually volunteered to broadcast this at the last second. Hope the guys at hope Brett and everyone at Ultimate Dirt TV is doing good, and if you're tuned in for the replay, hope you are doing well. That's why it says I got disqualified. So why don't we ignore that? We'll get right into things, and we are set to go for heat race number 1, our first heat race of the evening, brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies, quality racing bodies designed by Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. All right, let's meet the field here and get you your starting lineup. Anthony Morano starts on pole position tonight in the number 32. Next to him, it's Butch Baker in the 97. Row number 2, Gavin Chatham in the 99, next to Trent Verstraeten in the 088. Row number 3, Brian Lawson in car number 9, next to the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row number 4, rounding out the field, it's B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31, and Bob DeGood in car number 7. Top 4 transfer to the show. Bottom 4 will have to go to a last chance showdown. We are set to go racing in heat race number 1. Glad you could join us for this one. We're green. Three wide, and Brandon Templeton, the first victim of the Tory tire. As they're still side by side for the top spot between Morano and Baker. Baker comes out with the edge. He leads the opening circuit. Verstraeten third, Chatham fourth, Spangler trying to thread the needle in a 3-wide situation. But the top 5 drivers all under a blanket. This middle groove is the place to be. Track was set at 35% prior to taking the green flag. Attempt to keep the racing going with all the heats we have set. Gavin Chatham, though, quickest driver at the moment, is worth 3 wide for the 4th position. Spangler found an opening, takes the final transfer spot away from Gavin Chatham. You're on board with him. Here's how close it is between him as well as drivers next to him. Oh, Chatham had an issue. Fell all the way back. He actually went around. We'll get a replay of that in just a moment, but we do have 2 laps to go in Heat 1 coming to the white flag this time. Verstraeten and Morano racing for second, but the Detroit Lions fan, whose team clinched an AFC playoffs berth. It's 3 wide. Morano set it deep. Off for 4 to the checkers. Baker takes the win. Final transfer spot to Brian Lawson. All right, let's get a quick look and show you what happened with Chatham. We're going to have to rewind this a little bit, so bear with us. Ooh, got on the 88. We just lost it. Tough break as we get you your lineup for heat race number 2. On the pole position, it's Harold Klump with the number 76. Next to him, Isaac Salas, slide jobs on the 5. Row number 2, Sam Bachman in the 107. And Kelly Wheeler in the 110. Row number 3, Jeff Barker, the Brew to Beats, in the 513. Next to Michael Vitale in the 213. Rounding out the field is Michael Vecchio in the 007. And the Professor, John Hine, in car 71. Green flag is out. Down the back chute, Salas comes out with the advantage. Klump tucks in line into second on the outside. Races on for third. Kelly Wheeler gets it over Michael Vitale. Wheeler underneath for that 2 spot. Bachman wants to go for fourth. Opening possibly for Vitale to take that final transfer spot on the top shelf, but the long way not working out yet. It may come in when this track starts to get slicker and slicker throughout the feature. We'll just have to see. Remember, it's top 4 that transfer into the show. Bottom 4 go down into the B main. Maybe even the C main. Quickest car on track is Sly Job himself. Isaac Salas with a 13.40, followed by Klump 13.44. 2 laps to go, though, in the heat. Now the quickest car on track is Wheeler at a 13.38. Vitale's still stuck in that final transfer spot. What can Bachman do to try and get that final spot for Vitale? Tucker peek downstairs, but doesn't seem like it's coming in just well for him. Final lap underway, though, for heat race number 2, and it's Sly Job. Isaac Salas making his way off at turn number 4. Checkers are out. He'll start outside front row. Klump second. Vitale third. Kelly Wheeler finishes 4th. And so now we move on to heat race number 3. That second heat race, by the way, apologies as I was fixing a lot of stuff up, was brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. Heat 3 brought to you by the newest member of the Coast to Coast family, The Ridge, Glen Ridge Motorsports Park, home of the Dirt Car 358s. Jason Coffey starts on pole position. Next to him, it's Jeff Sharp. Row number 2, Logan Wentz in the 118, and G.J. Boydell in the 014. Row number 3, Randall Dixon in car 041, and Randy Shreves in the 56. Rounding out the field, it's the mayor, Steve Bixler in the 75, and Andrew Hansley the 4th in the 40. Let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Hello to Trevor, saying thanks for broadcasting at the last second. Sincerely appreciated. Hello to Mark, rooting for Isaac. That's Isaac Scramper watching. Thanks for tuning in. Top 4 transfer to the show. Green flag is out. Not a good start for Jason Coffey. Sharp, though, up the hill. Oh, contact between Coffey and Wentz. Both of them sideways. And Coffey takes the brunt end of it. He is spun into the middle of the infield. Meanwhile, as we focus up front, 1 lap complete. Jeff Sharp, the leader. G.J. Boydell second. Randy Shreves third. He's the biggest mover in all of that. Started 6th. He's up to the 3rd spot. And Randall Dixon rounding out the transfer spots. Bixler the first one out in 5th. Boydell, though, the quickest driver at the moment at a 13.45 as we reach the halfway point. 3 up and 3 down. And now it's Jeff Sharp. That's the quickest driver at a 13.40. You see Boydell right behind him. Different lines, obviously, but all the lines are fast as they can be. As we have 2 to go in this heat. Last time by, Sharp better by 0.02 of a second. Remember, fixed setups here on Thursday nights for the 358s. Monday nights is an open format. Final lap, though, underway in this heat. It's the driver of the Hoosier, number 28. Boydell chasing after him, but off of 4. Jeff Sharp takes the checkers. He wins heat number 3. Boydell, Shreves, and Dixon, your transfer spots. Bixler, Wentz, Hansley, the 4th, and Coffey will go down to the B main. All right, 4th heat race coming up, brought to you by Catalytic Recovery. And with that, here's your starting lineup. Trevor Giroux starts on pole position. Next to him, it's Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row number 2, it's Jason Butterfield in the 93. And next to him, it's Superman Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Row number 3, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Next to the 397 of Alex Pomelo. Rounding out the field, the Vanderbilt 90 of Jeff Fitzpatrick and the 2 of Hunter Carlson. First of 2 races that I'll be broadcasting this evening. We'll have Travis Piercefield taking over the second half of tonight's edition of Thursday Night Thunder. Top 4 transfer in, bottom 4 to the B main, as you know. Here we go for the green. Everyone's starting to get up to speed. Sideways, though, Butterfield in the 93 allows the top 3 to pull away. Giroux tried the slider. We're stacking them up. Butterfield, Dittmer, Fitzpatrick getting together. Affects them trying to make the feature. Meanwhile, Reynolds has the lead. Giroux trying to fight back on that low side, but the top shelf is coming in as Dino leads lap number 2. Schatzer now looks for a run underneath. He tucks it back in line. Pomelo, though, the quickest driver on the track at a 13:49. As they come off of turn number 4, we're halfway home. Pomelo leads a quarter of a second on Hunter Carlson for the final transfer spot. Dino, the quickest driver on track at a 13:43. Possibly 3 wide as Giroux went a little bit too high, nearly caught the cushion. Schatzer throws the slide job, the 2 nearly touch. Schatzer had to tuck it back in line as he's still in 3rd. Final lap is underway. But out in front, it's the driver of the Super Dirt Car Series number 79. Dean Reynolds takes the win in heat race number 4. Giroux, Schatzer, and Pomelo, your transfer drivers. Carlson, Fitzpatrick, Butterfield, and Dittmer will go down to the B main. Now we are under the lights where it is time for our B main. 16 drivers fighting for 8 spots. Top 8 make it into the show. Here's how they line up for our Gambler Motorsports B main. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler, starts on pole position. Next to him, it's Sam Bachman in the 107. The Steven Bixler, the mayor in the number 75, is next to Hunter Carlson in the 2. That's row number 2. Row 3, Bob DeGood in the 7, next to the Professor, John Hine. Row number 4, Logan Wentz in the 118, and Butters, Jason Butterfield. Rounding out the top 10, it's B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31, next to the Brewerton Beast, and Jeff Barker. Row number 6, Andrew Hansley, the 4th in the 40, and the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer. Row number 7, Gavin Chatham in the 99, and James Bond, Michael Vecchio in the 007. Rounding out the field, Jason Coffey in the 146, and Jeff Fitzpatrick in the 90. We'll go 1 extra lap before we take the green just to make sure the field's all bunched up. With a 16-car field, we definitely want to make sure everyone is all good to go. Green flag is out. We'll focus on the 8th place driver after lap 1, but we're winding them up already. 4 or 5 drivers involved. Final car that gets through amongst the top 8 is Brandon Dittmer. He's got a lot of space on Michael Vecchio in 9th. Now the top 7-0, they're all in. They're still trying to race for spots higher up on the grid. That may cost 1 driver possibly. Nearly cost Bob DeGood as he had some contact from Bixler. 3 wide for the 5th position. Hine up on the cushion. Oh my, we were nearly 4 wide off for 2. That was some tight stuff as Dittmer sends it in for a slide job. Last time by, Vecchio, the quicker driver, 13:57. That's everybody 2 by 2. Look out! Hine did it to good. Head onto the wall. Loses the wheel. And involved is Barker. Involved is Chatham. Final car that gets through is Jeff Barker. And now the leaders are going through lap traffic, I believe. Templeton gets through to 9th. If they were listening to me, they would have known that they were in the show and that there was a big gap over 9th that they could have played it safe. The top 4 at least know they're single file. Quickest driver, though, on track is that 31 of Templeton at 13:51. This is the guy, though, second in points coming on in, and he may not even make the darn feature. He may have to use this as a drop. Same with Logan Wentz, who is third in points coming in. And Logan is in the 11th position. Final lap is underway. Spangler and Bachman. I don't think Bachman's going to race him. Spangler sends it. He goes up the hill. Bachman's got a chance and steals it from the high side banger. Bachman wins the B-main. Spangler, Bixler, Carlson, Butterfield, Dittmer, Vecchio, Barker all in the show. Everyone else will have to practice for the big block session coming up after the 358s. And with that being said, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, it's feature time. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight when we talked about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
All right, we are having some technical difficulties here with our camera system, but I think we're good to go, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-ups just finished up with G.J. Boydell, the quickest. Well, let's meet the field here for our 30-lap feature. Here is your RSN Trackside starting lineup. On the pole, it is Butch Baker in the number 97. Next to him, Isaac Salas in the 5. It's a Venom front row lockout. Row number 2, Jeff Sharp, who is in car number 28. Next to Dino, Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row number 3, Anthony Morano in the 32. Next to Harold Klump in the 76. Row 4, G.J. Boydell in the 014 and Trevor Giroux in the 75. Pair of Canadians in row 4. Rounding out the top 10, Trent Verstraeten in the 88. Next to Michael Vitale in the 213. Row number 6, it's Randy Shreves, who is in the number 56. Having some technical difficulties. Randy Shreves in the 56 next to Kurt Schatzer in the 218. Then you got Kelly Wheeler and Brian Lawson. Randall Dixon, Alex Pomelo, Sam Bachman and Patrick Spangler, Hunter Carlson, as well as Steve Bixler, and rounding out your top 20, Jason Butterfield, Brandon Dittmer, row 11, then Michael Vecchio and Jeff Barker round out the field in the caboose. Here we go for this one. It's time for the Lucy Olson start. 30 laps around Limaland. We've got a fun one around the corner. Green flag is in the air. Let's go to work. Barker with the slide job on Salas. Pulls out to the early lead. Jeff Sharp took a peek underneath. Slide job for the 2 spot. Washes up the hill. Salas looks for an open lane as Baker leads the opening lap. Reynolds may have something possibly on Sharp. Tries to go around the outside for the 3rd position as Butchie tries a slide job. Open lane for Salas to go for the race lead. The Vellum teammates dueling it out with a Full Throttle Motorsports driver behind them. You're on board slide job. A full field of drivers here in this one. We'll take a look at who's got the best 5-lap average in a little bit. Baker, quickest driver on track, 13:60. Then watch out for the 10th place guy in Trent Verstraeten, a 13:53 last time by. And he's working the bottom side of the racetrack with nobody in front of him. He's losing a lot of time. Randy Schrade's racing him for the final spot in the top 10. Best race on tracks for 3rd still. Reynolds and Sharp. Morano trying to work with his teammate. You're on board with the 32. 5 laps of the books. Oh, Salas! Hit the Tory tire. He bullseyed it. And now he is back. And slide jobs Morano, who has to get off the gas. And now Salas goes back to the 4th spot. Sharp and Reynolds racing for P2 this time. Higher stakes on the line now at the moment. Take a look at the last few laps here at the moment. As you can see, everybody's still up to speed. Very close at the moment. Be tough when it comes to passing, though, that's for sure. Back to that race for 2nd position as Salas is now the quickest driver on track. Looks to take 3rd away from Sharp as they're side by side. Reynolds does have that 28 cleared, and Salas does take the 3rd spot. J. Boydell racing Anthony Morano now for the 5th position. They stay Hoosier to Hoosier. Boydell has to let off because of Jeff Sharp in front of him. Didn't want to turn him. A lot of momentum going his way. But how about, though, the Full Throttle Motorsports and Venom Racing drivers all work together. They have a huge alliance between each other. We see Dean a lot from time to time in the Venom chat, along with the Full Throttle chat, jumping back and forth between hoops. But Jeff Sharp just doesn't have anything to work that high side. Just hoping as well that the top 4 use up their tires potentially. We're 12 laps in the books of this one. You can see the gap there between 1st and 24th is 7 seconds. That's how tight all the laps are at the moment. Oh, here we go. Reynolds for the lead. Slide job. Dino. Baker counters it back. It looks like the Lions and the Vikings are battling for the lead. This is a rivalry matchup, folks. And now Salas may go 3 wide. Dino trying once again. This time he gets a hole right in front of Salas to keep the 2nd spot. So Dean tested it out. It worked a little bit as we're halfway home. Morano now wants the bottom step of the podium. As he tries underneath. The slide job won't even work without question. We're halfway home in this one. Reynolds hanging on for 2nd. Gonzalez, though, try and get 3rd. Morano with a lot of yaw, though, through 3 and 4. And he edges out Salas, I believe, for the 3rd position. Biggest mover on the track if you're taking the score home, keeping score home, I should say. Patrick Spangler at 5 spots in the 13th is, folks. Everyone hugging the high side of the racetrack as you watch from one of our drones. An unintentional drone shot, I should say. As Morano How bad does he want it? That third position back to the average lap time of the last 5 laps. The advantage currently has Trevor Giroux barely out in front. As you see everything changing up here with 10 laps to go. Giroux's in that 7th position, so if we get a late race restart, may have to watch him closely perhaps. But there's 9 laps to go in this one. Morano and Reynolds, the teammates, going to work for second. Highside still with the momentum. Look how tight this is as you watch from the aerial shot. That's the top 8 drivers all under a blanket, separated by a second. 3 wide for 4th. Salas up top. Boydell was in the middle. This one's far from over with 7 to go. Morano edged out Reynolds, I think, for 2nd spot at the line. Can't even throw the slide job there. Dino, I think, edged out Morano, then back for the runner-up spot. 3 wide again for 4th. Sharp's the one on the bottom. 4 wide in the center of the corner this time. Reynolds wants the 2nd spot back. Morano edges him out with 5 laps to go. He tries the slider on Baker. No. It could come down to a slider from hell, possibly. 4 laps remaining in the 358 feature. And the cream is rising to the top here at Limaland. Baker's led nearly all the laps in this one. Salas still in 4th. He could be battling for the win right now if it weren't for hitting a Tory tire bullseye. 3 to go. Morano racing Baker. There's some contact between the teammates. 2 laps to go at Limaland. At the line, it's Baker on Morano. What is going to happen here? Spangler's around. Yellow flag is out. We are going to overtime. Dang it. I think everyone wanted to see that race go green to checkered. Single file restart coming up. Is that what you want if you're Butch Baker? I think it is. Here's a look at what happened. Oh, he caught the wall and then just had potato internet. Look at him. Around like a top, and Jeff Barker then careens into him. Let's look on board Spangler. You know, I think when he hit the wall, his wheel may have disconnected on him. That could have been the thing. Last 5 laps when it comes to average time. It's Giroux and Bachmann that have the slight advantage at the moment. First of 2 green-white checkered attempts coming up. Here we go. Baker holding serve on Morano for right now. Has a nice gap. But Morano tries to send it in off of 2. Number 97 with the advantage. Morano wants the banking off for turn 4. White flag is out. 1 lap to go. Morano with a run low side of the corner. Can he get bite off for turn 2? Still side by side. Can Morano throw the slide job in? He sends it deep. Off for 4. Go Lions, go. Butch Baker takes the win. You can hear him roar in the number 97. The Venom Racing Machine is back on top. Reynolds 3rd, Salas 4th, Giroux rounds out the top 5. Your biggest mover of the race up 3 spots. Morano finishes 2nd. Folks, give it up for the 358 Modifieds as they put on one heck of a show. Just wait till you see how the big blocks take on Limaland. All right, gonna get Morano in here, and then we'll get going here with the top 3. And we'll begin here with Dean Reynolds here, our 3rd place finisher. Alrighty, Dean, I got to begin with this. Did you want the caution flag to come out with 2 to go or no?
No, because I think I would have stayed second. I was a little bit faster than Butchie. I was going to do a slider on the last lap and see what would happen and, go for there. But, I got to give myself credit. I'm a Minnesota Viking fan, and I didn't take out a Detroit Lion car.
We mentioned that on the air. It was Lions versus Vikings all over again.
Oh, what a great race. I mean, we were all just thanking each other. I mean, Anthony to make that middle work. And, we could have put a sheet of paper between all of us and not one of us touched that whole race. And I mean, it is what it is. I tried that bomb on Butchie. I think I did a little too hard. And then he got me back. So I learned from that. And then I was going to do a bomb going in 3 and 4 in the last lap. But I was just going to do a 3/4 slider and see if I can get that grip in the middle. And but I never got a chance because of the yellow. And we were in the Discord and we said, Butchie, this is your race now with this yellow. You're going to get a lap and a half on this. And, just do what you need to do.
Absolutely. You guys should be proud for putting on that heck of a show. Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Well, I gotta say thanks to the Full Throttle Motorsports guys. They're great guys, and you see how fast Anthony Morano is now, and Sam Bachman, Scotty Riome won the matinee today, so we're getting a little speed, and which is good. And I'm glad I finally got some of this bad luck small block stuff out of the way here, so that was good. Gotta thank the guys in Team Venom. Isaac, even though he finished 4th, he's helping us out. He's helping Butchie out, telling the lines to run. I mean, when you're in the same Discord, you gotta do what you gotta do. He was telling Butchie what Morano was doing, and and I don't look in the mirror when when I'm racing, so he was telling me where Morano was and stuff like that. And that's Isaac running 4th, and he wants to win too. But all those guys in Team Venom, they are really cool guys. Marty, thanks for stepping up for Brett. That's really cool. You wanted to race, but instead of having some fun, you were going to give us a telecast. So I got to thank you guys, and thank you, and the sponsorship for the 358s as well, Marty. So a lot of things has to go to you. Thanks to Coast for giving us a place to race, and just got to say congratulations to Butchie Baker on his win, and Anthony on a hard-fought second. Those guys, they definitely earned it, and we'll take this podium, and we'll go into the big blocks.
Great job today, man. Best of luck in the big blocks coming up.
Thanks, brother.
Absolutely. That's Dean Reynolds, our 3rd-place finisher. We now move on to the 2nd-place finisher, Anthony Morano. Anthony, walk me through the game plan there in that overtime session. You were hugging the bottom, then it looked like you were trying out the slide job.
I think that was the only thing I had for Butchie there was, just I have work. That slider line was working. I got around Isaac and got around Dean with it. So I was doing something useful, but I don't think I would have been able to, I don't like throwing big slide jobs and try to clear the guy and hope you don't take his nose off because that usually ends bad for me. So I try not to do it. But hats off to Butch, man. He played defense right there going into 3, held the middle line so I couldn't slide up and try to steal any momentum away. So hats off, good run. I did everything I could.
Absolutely. What do you take away from this one? How much I should say instead how much fun did you have with this race?
That was a blast running up there with Isaac and Dean going, each corner. There could have been more than enough room for a piece of paper between us. So I know it was close. So that was fun.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
My wife Sherry, my teammates over at Full Throttle Motorsports. Hi Mom Len, Super Dirt Car Series. Swan Speed Shop, GripPack.com. Marty, you for popping up here and doing a broadcast. I know you're getting ready to race with us. Everybody at Coast to Coast for letting us come out.
Alrighty, we'll let you go. Great job, and best of luck at the big block.
Thanks, Marty.
Anthony Morano, our 2nd-place finisher. Now we move on to your winner in Butch Baker. Butchie, you did it! Just like the Lions did in the division.
Right. See? I knew that paint scheme was going to do me good.
Oh, man. This one's got to feel good. What were you thinking in the car when the caution came out with 2 to go?
Actually, I was kind of relieved because Morano was right there, and I was doing everything that I could to hold him off, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to hold him off till the end, and I was like, all right, we're going to go single file. I can get a good jump, and then it'll give me room enough, and I think I can hold him off after that. And sure enough, I was able to.
He almost got you there going into turn 3.
Yeah, he did. But, luck was on my side tonight, and we were able to pull her off.
Absolutely. How much fun did you have in this race?
Oh, I had so much fun. I knew Dean and Isaac were back there, and they were kind of, calling some things out for me, helping me out as well, and then it was just hit my marks, and try not to mess up, and for once I didn't make any mistakes.
Absolutely. What do you expect for this big block race coming up?
I expect more of the same. I think it's probably going to be high side again. There's probably going to be some guys that'll be able to run the bottom, but the ones that feel comfortable up high are going to make it work. And I think it's going to be more of the same. I almost think there might be a few more cautions. Especially if we get some of the newer guys that haven't run with us that much before. That might bring out a few more cautions because the big block's got so much more power. So. But we'll see.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Oh, Marty, I got to give a shout-out to you, buddy, for doing this tonight. I mean, you came through in the clutch, and if you wouldn't have done this, man, there'd been no record of my win. So I got to give a big shout-out to you, buddy. Appreciate you. And then got to thank Dean at Super Dirt Car Series, all of my boys over at Venom Racing, everyone that supports me, and, we all try to support each other. And everyone at Coast to Coast, all the admins, everyone behind the scenes. And last but not least, I got to thank my wife who allows me to do this. And we should be having our baby here in the next any day now, actually.
Oh, boy. Baby watch, get ready.
There you go.
Enjoy it, man. Congratulations. And I got to say it because you're a Lions fan. Go Bills.
There you go. Hey, maybe we'll see each other in the playoffs.
We'll see. Bills got to get to the playoffs first.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, thank you, Marty. I appreciate it, man. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. That's Butch Baker, your winner here on the 358. With that being said, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, the big blocks are ready to roar. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we talked about it.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
We are back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We're getting set to go for the beautiful big blocks, and should be a good one for sure. While we're at it, let's get a look at what's coming up here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network here for the next few days. First off, a reminder, our Thursday Night Thunder program is brought to you by our friends at Gambler Motorsports. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the summer side of things. Thursday Night Thunder is, that is brought to you by Gambler, I'm sorry. Small blocks brought to you by RS and Trackside. The big blocks are brought to you by Catalytic Recovery. Again, later tonight, we've got Pro Late Models at Lima Land and Xfinity Series at Homestead. Tomorrow night, Friday Night Lights on Got Your 6 Racing Network with the small blocks, the Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprints. Excuse me. Monday night, we've got Monday Night Madness here for you with Open 358s and the sprint cars at the Eldora Speedway. Then Wednesday night, the Hometown Heroes taking on Lernerville with the 305s, 360s, and midgets. So as we come to watch big block qualifying, we'll watch Chris Alvey in the number 96. I don't know what the full car count looks like, but would have to assume it's pretty big. Isaac Salas to the top of the charts with a 12.739. Brandon Templeton takes her to the top now, 12.66. Randall Dixon goes third in the 0.11 and a 12.77. Slower lap. The 0.11. Gavin Chatham done with his lap. Pomelo just finished up his lap as he goes to third quick. Nice lap for the 397 at a 12.75. Here comes Randy Shreves off of turn number 4 in the 56, 12.85, lap 1 in 11th. Off the mark on lap number 2. Kelly Wheeler comes off turn 4, 12.82, lap 1 in 9th. Off by about a 10th on lap number 2. Trevor Giroux on lap number 1 as Sam Bachman moves up to 8th. Giroux 17th, 12.89. About to get Trent Verstraeten's first lap. As he is 10th, Giroux off of turn number 4. Is this a better lap? No, off the pace. Here comes Verstraeten off the final corner. Slower in sector 1. Sector 2 is better. This is close. And I think he bettered it by a couple of thousandths or so. So it's B-Temp that's on. That's the quickest in qualifying, so he'll start 4th in Heat 1. A reminder, we invert the top 4 prior to taking the green. Alrighty, here's your starting lineup for Heat Race number 1. Randy Shreves starts on the pole position. Next to him, the Professor John Hine in the 71. Row number 2, it's Gavin Chatham in car number 99. Next to him, it's B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the 31. Row number 3, the Brew to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Next to Pat Boyce in the 41. Rounding out the field is the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. And Andrew Hansley the 4th in the number 40. Winner on pole for this one. Green lights are on. Here we go. A lot of contact in the middle of the pack. Oh, look out. Templeton catches Boyce and Randy Shreves and Andrew Hansley. 4th place driver is Shreves. Spangler underneath him. But we're side by side for the top spot. Gavin Chatham started 3rd. He goes to the point. And the leaders are already approaching lap traffic from the stack up that happened. Hine nearly catches Chatham, both of them sideways as Hine goes up the hill. Here comes Barker for P2. Hine tries to go longer way around the racetrack. Quickest driver on track at the moment is Patrick Spangler racing Shreves for the final transfer spot in 4th, and Shreves takes it back from Spangler. 2 laps to go, coming to the white flag this time by. 0.3 of a second, the advantage for Chatham on the Professor. Does Hind possibly go for the slider in turn 3? Does Chatham play defense? See what happens. Stay with the same lane. Chatham wins the heat. Hind second, Barker third. Final spot to Randy Shreves. Spangler fifth, Boyce sixth. Hansley and Templeton both in the pits. So now we move on to heat race number 2. That heat, by the way, brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. We go to heat 2, brought to you by Full Throttle Motorsports. Here's the starting lineup. Michael Vitale on the pole position. Next to him, Trent Verstraeten in the 88. Row number 2, Dean Reynolds in the 79. Next to Slide Job, Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 2, Trevor Giroux in the 075. Next to Bond, James Bond. Michael Vecchio in the 007. Row number 4, Chris Alvey in the 96. Just waiting for Mark Gilbert to come in the 017, yet to make the call to grid. While we're at it, let us know who you're rooting for. Hello to Kelsey in chat rooting for Isaac. The Isaac Salas fan club watching tonight. And Dino starting from the rear. I believe from an EOL penalty. Everyone's got the engines revved up. And it is hammer time here. Green flag is out for heat race number 2. Vitale, not a lot of yaw in the corner, allows Verstraeten to clear the 213. Here comes Giroux, who could make it 3 wide for the top spot. Salas in the final transfer position in the 4th spot. Remember, he was second quickest. This will be 3rd quickest in qualifying. Nope, it was 2nd quickest. As they've been 3 wide for a full circuit now. Verstraeten clears, nearly scrapes the wall. Salas makes contact with Vitale. And now could go for the lead, but he scrapes it. 2 by 2 off of turn number 4. Dean Reynolds the first one out, hoping that something happens to the front 4. Salas nearly goes around, makes contact with Verstraeten. He gets the bumper of Giroux with no yaw. 2 to go in this heat race. Oh, Giroux hit the Tory tire, but somehow finds a way to remain out in front. Verstraeten on the top shelf where Mama hides the cookies. He can't get the lead yet, 1 lap to go. And now Reynolds all over the back of the number 213. You know who's going to win this heat race? It's Trevor Giroux. Who's going to get second at the line? Verstraeten edges out Salas. Vitale takes the final spot in. Now we go to heat race number 3, brought to you by Glenridge Motorsports Park. Here's the starting lineup. On the pole position, it's Stephen Goldner in car number 30. Next to him, it's Kenley Wheeler in the 110. Row number 2, Anthony Morano in the 32. Next to Alex Pomelo in the 397. Row 3, oh my, Harold Klump in the 76. Next to Butch Baker in the 97. We've got Dolphins and Lions on row 3. Rounding out the field, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. I wonder if Harold Klump is trying to troll me right now. Before Sunday. Go Bills, by the way. AFC East on the line this weekend. Ah, Harold. Oh, Harold. All right, here we go for this one. Top 4 in the show. Here we go. Morano gets the jump over Kelly Wheeler as the field's in turn number 3. Pomelo back in the 4th position. And look at Klump go. Up 2 positions into the 3rd spot. Trying to clear that 397, which he finds a way to do. But Baker set it on Pomelo. Sideways he goes and collects Stephen Goldner, who had to start from the back. Now that puts Brandon Dittmer in the 83 as the final car in. Or the first one out, rather. He's trying to send it longer way around this racetrack, but he got really sideways, with the car just about bottomed out from the looks of it. Kelly Wheeler in second. He looks underneath Morano for the top spot. Quickest car on track, in case anyone's wondering, it's the 7th place driver of Goldner. Final lap underway. Who's starting for the inside of row number 2? Is it Morano or Wheeler? Morano with the edge by about 2 car lengths. Protects the bottom off for 4, the full throttle 32 with the win. Wheeler, Klump, and Pomelo in. Baker, Goldner, and Dittmer will race in the B main. All right, now we move on to heat race number 4, brought to you by Catalytic Recovery. Here's the lineup. Jeff Sharp starts on the pole position. Next to him, it's Logan Wentz in the 118. Row number 2, Sam Bachman in the 107, and he's next to Randall Dixon in the 011. Row number 3, Brian Lawson in car number 9, next to Jason Butterfield in the 93. Rounding out the field, it's Jason Coffey in car 146. Winner starts outside row number 2. Sharp trying to clear off at 2, but he cannot. Stays door to door with Wentz. Bachman 3rd, Dixon 4th off the corner. Wentz leads lap 1. Wentz had a challenger in the 107 of Bachman, who's the quickest driver on the track, hugging that bottom line. So we're halfway home. Oh! Whoa! Jason Butterfield! This man's like Herbie riding the fence. The wild ride puts him back to 7th and likely damaged the belly pan of that ride. Coming to the white flag this time by top 4 still Sharp, Wentz, Bachman, Dixon. As the race for 3rd is on between Dixon and Bachman, the 107 takes it. But we're side by side for the lead. Sharp or Wentz? Who wins heat race number 4? Wentz with the mother of all slide jobs. It's not going to work though. Sharp with the win. Gets him by 0.04 of a second. Bachman and Dixon are in. Now it is time for the B main. Our car count tonight, 30 drivers for the big blocks. B main brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Here's your starting lineup. I think this is the 2nd time he's on the pole in a B main tonight. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 79 is next to Dino. Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row 2, Butch Baker in the 97 next to Brian Lawson in the 9, a pair of Venom teammates. Row number 3, Pat Boyce in the 41, next to James Bond, Michael Vecchio in the 007. Row number 4, Stephen Goldner in the 30, next to Jason Coffey in the 146. Rounded out the top 10 in this B main, Andrew Hansley the 4th in the number 40, next to Chris Alvey in the 96. Row 6, Brandon Dittmer, the Spider Monkeys in the 83, next to Butters, Jason Butterfield in the 93. Rounding out the field, B-Temp, Brandon Templeton in the number 31. Go one more lap until we take the green flag. Here we go. Focus on the 8th place driver after lap number 1. Spangler with the lead off of turn 2. Reynolds is second. Baker and Lawson race for the third spot. 3 wide for fifth behind them. Goldner sending it underneath. Final transfer spot currently belongs to Jason Coffey in the 146. First car out is Hansley the fourth in the number 40. And look at Brandon Templeton behind him, trying to get underneath them. He's back in ninth and closing on him fast. And now he's side by side with that 146 off of 2. Coffey edges out Templeton to the line. Now they catch up to a gaggle of cars. That's Stephen Goldner in the 7th spot, fighting for his money, but Templeton catches the Uke tire, and that puts Coffey back into 8th. And Goldner goes around to the 30. Oh my goodness! One of the best sprint car drivers this season, currently out in the 13th spot. Coffey now in the final transfer spot. Templeton runs over a tire. He's still in it though in 7th. But now can Brandon Dittmer get the 146 is the question. 2 laps to go in this B main. Dittmer with the preferred line underneath, tries the slider on Coffey. Tried it late in the going. Final lap though underway. Patrick Spangler leading. Dittmer trying a different line, and Templeton to the wall. Coffey contact. Around though goes Butterfield. And the final spot is Brandon Dittmer off of 4. You gotta be kidding me. Exit going up and over. I don't know what the heck just happened. That was some wild stuff, though, to say the least. Coffey got Butterfield. Dittmer had the momentum, says goodbye, and steals the final transfer spot. What a heist. Let's go to break. When we come back, it's our feature. Stay with us, the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-up's almost done here. Brandon Templeton, your quickest driver at the moment, with a 1285. Don't forget, later on tonight, we have the late models at Lima Land and the Xfinity Series at Homestead Miami Speedway. Travis Piercefield will have the call for all of that. You don't want to miss out on that. As I say that, Isaac Salas has taken the number 5 ride to the top of the standings. All right, here we go. We're set to go racing. Let's meet the field and give you your RSN Trackside starting lineup. On the pole position, it's Gavin Chatham in car number 99. Next to him, it's Trevor Giroux in the 075. Row number 2, Anthony Morano in the 32. Next to Jeff Sharp in car 28. Row number 3, the Professor John Hine in the 71. Next to Trent Verstraeten in the 088. Row number 4, Kelly Wheeler in the 110 and Logan Wentz in the 118. Rounded out the top 10, the Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513 and Isaac Salas in the 5. Row 6, Harold Klump in the 76 next to Sam Bachman in the 107. Row number 7, Randy Shreves in the 56 next to Michael Vitale in the 213. And row 8, Alex Pomelo in the 397 and Randall Dixon in the 011. Rounded out the field, Patrick Spangler, Dean Reynolds, row 9, Brian Lawson, Butch Baker, row 10. Michael Vecchio, Pat Boyce, row 11. Brandon Templeton and Brandon Dittmer, row number 12. Let's know your pick to win in the chat. 30 laps, the feature. As we get set to go for the Lucy Olson start. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Chatham and Giroux bring us to green. It's showtime! Into turn number 3, Gavin Chatham with the advantage. Giroux and Morano racing for the second spot. Advantage of the 75 up on the outside. Remember, we told you earlier in the 358 was the quickest amongst a 5-lap average. Could he be a threat in this one? Jeff Sharp in that 4th position. John Hine rounding out the top 10. 3 wide behind them for about the 6th spot. Trent Verstraeten, Isaac Salas, and Kelly Wheeler. Chatham, meanwhile, quickest driver on the track at 13:06. Answered back by Templeton. Trouble with Patrick Spangler. Around in 2. No caution, though. We stay under the green flag. Front 5 drivers all working the outside. First driver underneath that 88 is John Hine for that 5th position. 3 wide behind them with Wheeler in the middle and Jeff Barker down low. All tight, close quarters racing at the moment. Salas up in that 6th spot, up 4 positions, starting in 10th, your biggest mover of the race. Man, that is tight between Logan Wentz and John Hine. Nearly turned each other around, and Wentz takes away 7th. Caution is out, Brandon Templeton in the 31. He was around in turn number 2, nearly the same spot where Spangler had spun out in. Here's a look at what happened to the 31. Big stack up. Lawson and Vecchio behind him. Ooh, slight contact from Boyce and just sent him sideways. Doing a 270, keeping her going. While we're at it, a look at your best lap times amongst 5-lap averages at the moment. And the quickest driver on track amongst the field is currently Gavin Chatham, followed by Trevor Giroux. There is the man that is currently at the moment. Give me second at the moment. Double file restart coming up. Chatham selects the outside line for this restart. Watch this restart from the Chapman Racing drone. Still side by side off for 2. Chatham able to hold serve. Morano and Sharp racing for that 3rd position. Decides to go from the 1st groove to the 2nd groove. And Sharp has the 3rd spot. Now looks for 2nd. Salas has to check up to avoid hitting the number 28. It looks like a Delaware double file restart with Chatham commanding the troops at bay. Morano nearly clips the 5 of Salas. Verstraeten has to get on the binders to avoid hitting the 32, and it stacks the field up. Wheeler washes up the track briefly. Hine still in that 8th spot. Wheeler back in 9th. Here we go. Giroux, only guy downstairs looking for the lead. Everyone else has decided to keep their car hooked on the cushion, but the caution flag is out. Caution is waived, and we've got a bunch of them that went around. Randy Shreves, Brian Lawson, Brandon Dittmer from the looks of it. Here's a look on a replay. Just got sideways off the 011. There you see Lawson and Dittmer all involved in the accident. So this time, Chatham selects the inside line. Interesting decision. May have seen what Giroux was doing on the low line, may have worked, but this time he has Jeff Sharp to his outside. Here they come back to the green flag. 10 laps complete. Make his way back up to the outside, which he does. Chatham holds serve. Let's see if Giroux can get that second position back from Sharp. Nearly 3 wide with Morano in the middle in the 75. I don't think was able to get second at the stripe, but he pulled up to Chatham's door off of turn 2 looking for bite, but it just couldn't work on his end. Salas trying to give Sharp a little bump, but look how crammed this is at the moment. Got Morano underneath Salas for the 4th position off of 4. Chatham's glad that he's pulled away from this one as the best car lengths amongst anyone. Everybody else looks like they're doing pace laps at speeds of 100 miles an hour. Verstraeten checks up a bunch of the field. They got Dean Reynolds. Everybody's still stacking up further back. And everybody, nope, finding a way to keep it straight somehow. Biggest loser in all that, I think, was Templeton, if not Spangler. Here goes Salas with a slide job for second. Couldn't take it away there just yet as we are past the halfway mark. And Salas is closing in fast. Pull up the lap times, the 5-lap averages. Who's the better driver from the looks of it? It's still Chatham. But look at, though, who is running virtually identical times. Salas is closing in pretty fast. So watch that closely with 11 laps to go. And Salas is the better car on 5-lap averages right now than Gavin Chatham. Sharp is 3rd, Morano and Giroux racing for the 4th position. 10 laps remain. Salas all over the bumper of Gavin Chatham. You've got company. High, wide, and handsome from Salas up for 4. They're still door-to-door. Chatham though edges out Salas in the line. Now a lot of yaw off of 2. Advantage Chatham for now. But if Salas can drive the cushion perfectly off of turn 4, he'll take the lead, which he does with 8 laps to go. From 10th to the top spot is slide job. And I believe is our first lead change of the day, which it is. 7 laps remain. Here's Morano and Giroux for the 4th position. Pull up those 5-lap averages again. Nope, hold the thought. Trouble. Dean Reynolds, Michael Vitale. A junkyard in turn 2. Look at what happened. Oh my goodness, he just got sent into big time. That was the 213 of Michael Vitale that caught him. That's a tough break. So late race restart coming up here with a about 5 laps to go. I want to go back to those 5-lap averages and show them to you. Look at the gap there between Salas and Chatham. And then the second best, I want to say, is Jeff Sharp in that 28, who looks to be better than Chatham at the moment. Single file restart as we have under 10 laps to go. It's 6 laps remaining. Salas holds serve. Jeff Sharp low for second. The high side's the place to be, as we saw Salas. Be tough though for Chatham and Sharp to look for options, especially this late in the race. Got to go with your best line. Chatham able to clear. Sharp hanging on to a podium spot. Giroux in that 75. Watching second and third race. Could he be a factor possibly in the end? 3 laps to go. Oh, but he caught the wall. He was rim riding on the cushion really well. But now Morano becomes a factor in that 5th spot. 2 laps to go. This race for second. Far from over. Giroux in the wall once again. Off of turn number 4. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go for Isaac Salas of the Venom Racing Super Dirt Car Series. Magnum Race Design. Number 9 making his way through 3 and 4. A run TC Shep would be proud of. Isaac Salas with the win at Lima Land. Chatham second. Giroux third. Sharp fourth. Morano fifth. Your biggest mover of the race is Templeton from 23rd to 11th. Top 3 pose for a podium. Excuse me. Gotta admit, that was a fun race to watch. So you see the top 10 on your screen. I think Salas is about to do either a victory lap or light some smoke up for us. Uh-oh. Him and Butcher just having some fun. Now that's how you do burnout on the asphalt. Get 11th through 20th. 22 drivers finishing on the lead lap, or check that, 21 drivers. So Templeton was not the biggest mover of the race, which means Salas is your biggest mover. I believe Templeton was hit with a penalty at the end. Top 3 are with us. Let's begin with our 3rd place finisher in Trevor Giroux. Trevor, we saw your work in the high side at the end. Without question, that was the place to be. Yeah. Walk me through your final laps, though, from your perspective.
Well, I was stuck on the bottom for most of the race, kind of making it work, and then we had that caution come out with, I don't know, 6 or 7 to go, something like that, and then I think we went single file, so that kind of helped me there, and I just stuck it to the top and tried to keep it out of the wall. It was getting thin up there, though, but it was I felt like I was spinning too much on the bottom, and so when I went to the top, I think I was using a little too much throttle there and spinning on exit too. So, but overall, yeah, it was a good race. I'm happy with the podium.
We were looking at analytics earlier on the broadcast. You had one of the better 5-lap averages in the race. Were you hoping for a long run to possibly develop?
I don't know, honestly. Like, I was pretty content with whatever was gonna happen, like a yellow, or if we would have stayed green. I was okay with that. I just wanted to get off the bottom. I couldn't make it work as well as some of these other guys there. But I think I was happier with the yellow, honestly, than I would if it went green flag. Because I think Anthony was behind me. He was gonna eventually get a run on me and pass me, and he's fast, so it would have been hard to get back by him. But yeah, once we got that yellow and I got the start on the top there, I just made sure I didn't make no mistakes. And so yeah, I definitely wanted to see that yellow over a green flag.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
I just want to give shout outs to my buddy Trent, my buddy Caleb as well, Patrick Spangler as well. He was chilling in the Discord with us, and my wife or my soon-to-be wife, my mom and dad. Also want to give a shout out to you, Marty, for stepping up and doing the broadcast. I don't know if you saw my comment in the broadcast,
did.
but I greatly appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate it so much, man. We'll let you go. Great job, and best of luck. What's coming up next for you?
Thank you very much.
That's Trevor Giroux, our third place finisher. Let's get to our second place finisher in Gavin Chatham. Gavin, tough break there for you. What happened with your car late in the going, or was just Salas the much better driver late in it?
Isaac's good, man. Isaac's very good with these big blocks and these 358s, and it's definitely not my forte. I'm middle of the road, I'd say, if we're doing a true talent assessment on modifieds. I thought I was running a good pace in the middle of the racetrack there, and I thought I was doing okay, and Isaac just had the better line. He's definitely better at these than me, and he's a good race car driver, and he's smooth and fast, and he knows what he needs to do to win. And I thought I was pretty comfortable in the middle. I thought that was going to be the place to go. I was making good lap times, good speed, and obviously I say it wasn't the right call, and then he got by me. I jumped to the top, and I didn't like the top. And on that restart, I ran the middle, and I think I was running lap times similar to him again. So I probably should have stuck in the middle and maybe stepped up the pace a little bit more and ran better lap times. But other than that, I'll take it. Definitely second place, and in the big blocks was definitely a good run for us. We'll take it for sure.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
I just want to thank you guys thank you, Marty, for putting on an awesome broadcast. I want to thank Coast to Coast, all the sponsors, everybody who puts on this league, and everybody behind the scenes that allows us to come out here and race and put on good races like this. I just want to thank Chatham Motorsports, Mike Schick Motorsport Design, Velocity Race Design, Miller Time Motorsports, and Northeast Outlaw Motorsports. Thank you, all the sponsors, all the help and support. I just want to thank the fans for coming out and watching the races. I hope we put on a good show for you all each week. And I just want to thank my fans as well for coming out and supporting me and watching me race.
All righty, we'll let you go. Great job tonight, and best of luck in what's next.
All right, thanks, Marty. The late models, so we'll see. I'm even worse at those than the modified. So
you'll probably be joining me in the back of the field then.
Sounds like a plan, man.
All right, Gavin Chatham, our second place finisher. Now we go to your winner, Isaac Salas, who went from hitting a Tory tire hard in the 358. I had to say it.
Hey now, relax.
To going to victory lane in the big blocks. Well done, man. Where did your car come in well late in the going?
3 and 4. I was smoking in 3 and 4, man. 1 and 2, it was difficult. You could just kind of baby it through the top of 1 and 2, though. But 3 and 4 was so much grip up top, and I don't really know why people weren't running up there, but I'm not going to say no to it.
Was it also as well, obviously starting from mid-pack, it's a tough challenge, but was it also when you were able to hit your throttle and brake points like in qualifying, where you were able to close in a lot?
Yeah, it was definitely that. I knew that I also had to play a little bit of defense through that middle portion there. You don't want guys like Morano to kind of be able – they know how much room they need to slide up in front of somebody through the corner. And so my goal there was to kind of almost not be up top and kind of close up a lot of that room for them to slide in there. And yeah, that's kind of how I got a lot of the track position off the start. Got a lucky to be up top on one of those restarts. And but yeah, man, it was fun. It was a very technical race tonight. And by the end of it, my heart was pounding probably just as hard as the 358 race, to be honest with you.
What are you expecting for this late model race coming up?
You want my honest opinion?
Yes.
Probably a battle between Brandon Templeton and Anthony Morano, and we're not going to talk about me. We don't want to make any suggestions of how good or bad I'm going to do here. So,
who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Big shout-out to all those boys over at Venom Racing. Obviously, Butchie got, I think, his first Thursday night win. That's not a week 13, so that's it's pretty awesome to kind of sweep the modifieds for Venom Racing here. Thank you to you, man. I know that you were gonna get to race tonight, and you were super super excited. But
I made you
thank you for
I made you the late model
stepping
race
up.
coming up. Yeah.
There you go. Well, hey, that's fine by me. I'm here for it. Let's do it to it. But thank you to you. Thank you to Dean, the Super Dirt Car Series, for their support. Top Notch Trucking with my Gramps. That's always huge. So I thank you, Gramps. Magnum Race Designs, Got Your Six Racing Network, RSN Trackside with you, buddy. Thank you for the sponsor in the 358s, by the way. Mission 22, everything they do for our veterans, man. Everybody here in Coast to Coast, it's fun to see the new faces coming around. Yeah, other than that, thanks to my family. I know Gramps and Mom are watching. Thanks to my girlfriend Kelsey for watching. And other than that, just thanks to all my friends and family that support me. Other than them.
Alrighty, man. Well, we'll let you go. Congratulations. Great win.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy.
Isaac Salas, your winner, and he is in victory lane. Well, we're going to bring in Travis Piercefield, who is coming up next here with the late models at Limerland, the Xfinity race at Homestead. Travis, we should be in for an interesting one. Isaac did say, though, it could be a battle between B-Temp and Murano, possibly.
Well, Salas normally, I like to say, sandbags going into the late models and then the asphalt. So we know Isaac will look to go for another sweep like he did a few weeks ago. But it looks like we've got about 18, 20 late models right now. So it should be a good pro late model race here at Limaland coming up next.
Could be 21 possibly. We'll see if I decide to race. And then finally, the Xfinity Series coming on up at Homestead Miami Speedway. Always a treat to watch them run there.
Always a good race at Homestead Miami, which with that series, a lot of long green flag runs. But when those cautions do come, it normally can shake up things, especially up towards the front. So it should be another good ending to our Thursday night here on the Coast to Coast Racing League.
Alrighty. Well, bear with us here for a couple seconds. You're going to see some black. Travis, are you ready to go? Get ready for your stream?
I am ready to go.
All right, perfect. We'll be right back in about 5 seconds, and then you'll see an advertisement from Travis. Stay with us, the Coast to Coast Racing.
Welcome to the Coast to Coast Racing League. It is Thursday Night Thunder presented by Gambler Motorsports. And our racing here continues from Lima Land. We've got the Pro Late Model Division coming up next. I am Travis Pearsall with Extreme eSpeed TV, joined by John Hine tonight. And John, we just saw the modifieds here at Lima Land. Now we're going to bust out the late models here at this short dirt track.
Yeah, totally two different cars tonight, and between the two, night and day difference, different characteristics, different thing the drivers will be doing both with their hands or feet. It's going to take some adjustment too. I even went out on the track a couple times and had to reset all that muscle memory. Easy for me to talk. You can tell it's been a while since I've done this, but this should be fun. This is a great little track. It's a racy track. You got options here. You can go high, you can go low, you go right through the middle if you need to.
Very wide sweeping corners here at Lima Land as we see Anthony Morano out on the track right now, Brandon Templeton as well. That was somebody that Isaac Salas had mentioned as Isaac looks to pick up another dirt victory here tonight. Anyone else here jump out at you as maybe a surprise winner for us here on the Coast to Coast Racing League?
Well, I think anytime you tune into a Coast to Coast show, I think you can get a surprise winner. I mean, the talent pool here is definitely pretty deep, but I'll tell you some guys I keep an eye on maybe. Definitely look for Brandon Templeton. He's always really strong in these things. Joseph Grandy's pretty strong. Isaac, obviously. Dean Reynolds, and I got to give a shout out to Dean. He's a big block guy and involved with a dirt car out there with the big blocks out east, but I think he's coming to the dark side because he's getting pretty good in these late models. So keep an eye on Dean here.
It's always nice when a guy crosses over to the Four Fender Club and tries try something different here. So it looks like we've got about 19 cars right now here during this practice session. See if any others join here for our Pro Late Models. Of course, coming up next, we have the Xfinity Series coming from Homestead, Miami, as that will conclude your Thursday Night Thunder here for the Coast to Coast Racing League. As you see, Brandon Templeton, a handful of cars still out on the track. Cole Ferguson, he's done over about 23 laps out there as well. So as we talked about, plenty of drivers. Brian Dickens is someone that we've seen here in the Coast to Coast Racing League as well, that is able to get up, move up and down through, depending on what track and what series we watch as well.
Yeah, and the one thing a lot of drivers, because last race, everybody, the top 10 of us were pretty well nose to tail through most of that race, and passing can become a bit of a premium when everybody's that close together. But I think we're set to qualify here, Travis, and I think I'll take this new hot rod of mine out and see what we can do.
Qualifying is underway as we get cars out there on the track. We'll get, of course, the qualifying times over to the left on the screen as they come in. Anthony Morano, one of the first cars out there. There's our in-race reporter, John Hine, in his Bass Pro Shop, number 71 tonight. There's Brian Dickens, who we talked about during that practice session. As times start to come in, Salas up towards the top, Templeton, Dean Reynolds. There's John Hine, fourth fastest here early.
Yeah, I probably should have been out practicing instead of talking to you a little bit. I couldn't remember which line to run, but yeah, this you mentioned the Bass Pro Shops car. This is a debut for this car. This is the car that you'll see me in over in the Pro Dirt Late Model Series here in a week. So debut in a car here and shaking all the bugs out of it.
Don't care how many seasons you go through. That first time you start to see some new paint schemes and what guys have been working on over the winter. Always exciting.
Yeah, and I got to give a shout out to Magnum Race Designs and Brian Lawson and those guys. They're the ones that put this one together here. So you guys go out to Facebook, find Magnum Race Designs, get yourself something printed up like this too. So they're a good sponsor to the league here in CCC. Done a lot for the league. Definitely some good guys over there.
As times are all in for everyone, a couple guys still wrapping up their final laps. So it looks like it's going to be Isaac Salas, Brandon Templeton, Cole Ferguson, Trevor Giroux, and Kurt Schatzer. As Trent Verstraeten will now wind up in that fifth fastest spot. And just like that, 20 for 20 down with times in. And we're going to very quickly here move on to some heat racing action. Of course, heat race number 1, presented by Flatline Racing Bodies. And John, you're in this one, so I'll take the starting lineup here.
I appreciate that.
Starting from the pole, our in-race reporter, it's John Hine in the 71. Joseph Grandy starting outside row number 1 in the second spot. Row number 2, it's Trevor Giroux alongside Isaac Salas. Brian Dickens will line up 5th alongside Randy Shreves. And at the tail end in 7th will be Kelly Wheeler.
I think this is what you call playing the invert just right. You know, that wasn't my intention, but you know what? We'll take it.
Ending up in that perfect spot with your qualifying time.
Yeah, and I would look for this, you know, we still got a lot of grip out here, so look for guys to be pretty well hammered down here. And, man, I wish I could tell you what lane to be in there. I butchered my qualifying spot, but I would watch for the bottom and the middle. I don't know if anyone will go up top yet, but we're going to go green here. We'll find out.
That we will. We'll find out very quickly here. As just like that, the green flag will wave, and we're back to racing action here for Thursday Night Thunder. John Hine out front. He's 2, almost 3 wide behind him. You can see from the bottom all the way up to the top, almost 4 wide going into the corner there, as John's able to hold off 3-car battle behind him. It's the 518 of Grandy trying to hold his position. He'll hold on to that 3rd spot. Isaac Salas now on the tack for John Hine up front as we've got 4 laps to go. Front 2 have broken away. Joseph Grandy now trying to hold off the Hornet's Nest behind him as he rides in that 3rd position. Coming to 2 laps to go, it's still John Hine out front. Salas trying to look to the inside of him, unable to carry that momentum through the corner. He'll be to his corner there as the white flag waves, as he'll have 1 more lap to try to make his move. They'll be side by side down the back stretch. Off of turn number 4, and it will be the 71 of John Hine. Salas 2nd, Grandy 3rd, Shreves 4th, and Giroux in 5th. And just like that, we'll move on to heat race number 2, presented by RSN Trackside.
And it looks like Logan Wentz will be on the pole. To his outside will be the number 32 of Anthony Morano. Trent Verstraeten and his number 88 will occupy the 3rd spot. And to his outside will be Brandon Templeton. Starting 5th will be Jeff Sharp. Next to him will be Pat Boyce. And rounding out your field in the 99, that's going to be Gavin Chatham.
So you've been out there on the track now, John. You were the first heat. Any surprises there that first run?
No, you know, the middle, you know, I think was pretty good there. I think the top, I think you'll start to see guys gradually move up. I was debating between the 2 there. I think Isaac, I heard him a couple of times up close to me there, so I don't know. I think it's still going to be a bit of a free-for-all here until we get a little more wear into the car.
Well, we will see how it plays out here. As heat race number 1 done, we've moved on to heat race number 2. As it's Logan Wentz, Anthony Morano out there on row number 1 to get us started. Stephen King Foundation pace car off the track. Green flag waves, and we're back to racing action at Lima Land. Wentz able to jump up front. Morano still there behind him, and then it starts to stack up from 3rd place on.
And with these cars, you've got to be really careful, Travis, here, especially this time because you're carrying so much speed into the corner, not to let that car over-rotate. That back end, I almost threw that heat race away, letting that back end over-rotate coming through us turns 1 and 2. So these guys are working out there right now.
Well, very quickly, 2 by 2 at the front. You've got Morano to the inside, Wentz to his outside. They'll stay side by side as the 2 behind him also side by side for position. As Morano and Wentz trade this lead off about 8 to 10 times each lap right now.
Yeah, you know, those guys are working inside that car, but I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, a lot of fun there. But the guy that's got to watch out for, Brandon Templeton, one of these 2 guys make any kind of mistake, Brandon's going to pounce.
He's separated from Verstraeten that he was side by side here on the last lap now as Morano will try to slide up. Wentz will hold on. He will win. Morano second, Templeton third, Verstraeten in fourth. And it appears, John, Anthony was able to get alongside Wentz more than Salas was with you, but it's still just too hard to make that inside line and pass.
Yeah, Anthony was getting a better corner entry, but then losing it all on corner exit, and that's kind of the rub when you get into tracks, especially with a car that's dependent on momentum. You get such a good run coming out of the corners. If you pinch your car down, you lose that momentum. But just like that, Travis Werde, heat number 3.
Heat number 3 presented by The Ridge. It's going to be row number 1, Butch Baker alongside Dean Reynolds. Row number 2, Kurt Schatzer next to Cole Ferguson. And then it's going to be Brandon Dittmer and Brian Lawson rounding out the 6-car field.
Something else for the VR users. That sun setting back there, I tell you, I wish I had a pair of sunglasses inside this virtual reality headset. And there are probably a couple other drivers that do too.
Well, the Stephen King Foundation pace car pulls off. We're about to go green here as the sun sets at Lima Land. With that inside line, John, what's it going to take? Will it come in throughout the evening, or will there be an opportunity to make a move for the lead?
I think it'll come in. I think once you get all the way up to the top and guys are going to have to lift to try to stay off the wall, breaking their momentum, you might see that back, the bottom. Oh, a lot of contact there.
Looks like it's Schatzer, the one with damage to his right front, got into the wall there. Which shook things
Cole
up.
Ferguson there. Yeah, Ferguson was just a little bit aggressive there, but he made it work. And boy, these guys, big push out of the 83 there at Dittmer. Good job there for those guys not to collide again.
So Dittmer was able to take advantage of that contact as he moved up into the second spot. We've got 2 laps to go. It's still Butch Baker out front. He's broken away from the rest of these 4 that are still out on the track. Dean Reynolds into that inside tire. That'll stack him up for a moment. As now Ferguson's able to claim that second spot. But out front, it's the 97 of Butch Baker. All alone through 3 and 4. He will win heat race number 3. Ferguson second, Reynolds third, Lawson in fourth. And that will move us on to the warm-up here before our feature event. With that, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we will have your 30-lap feature event here for the Pro Late Model Dirt Series on the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Are you listening? Are you missing me?
And with that, we are back at Lima Land Speedway here as we move on to our feature event. John, it looks like you're out there on the track, and that pesky sun you talked about has now gone below.
I love the virtual world. Sometimes it moves just fast enough, huh? But yeah, the sun's gone, and that's going to mean the track's actually going to probably pick up a little bit of speed here too. A little bit cooler. The engines are going to make more power. Going to be easier to spin the tires. Guys are going to have to be aware of that.
As we get ready here, this warm-up session comes to an end, and we will move on to that feature event. Of course, we have that starting lineup presented by RSN Trackside, and they're going to line up like this. It's our in-race reporter, John Hine, on the pole next to Logan Wentz. Butch Baker will start third alongside Isaac Salas. Fifth, Anthony Morano next to Cole Ferguson. Joseph Grandy starts seventh next to Brandon Templeton. Dean Reynolds in ninth alongside Randy Shreves. 11th, Trent Verstraeten alongside Brandon Dittmer. 13th will be Trevor Giroux alongside Jeff Sharp. 15th, Brian Lawson alongside Brian Dickens. Pat Boyce in 17th next to Kurt Schatzer. And rounding out the field in row number 10, it's Kelly Wheeler and Gavin Chatham. So, John, you've got a good starting spot here. What's it going to take to come home with a victory tonight?
I tell you, I got three hungry cats that are all pretty aggressive sitting around me here, not to the outside and behind me. So I think it's going to be mistake-free. I think that's what it's going to take. I think any of us that are up here, not letting the car over-rotate, not stuffing it in the fence, definitely not getting into a competitor. That's going to probably be what everybody's goal needs to be here to get to the end here.
Well, the fun is about to begin as we have that Stephen King Foundation pace car out front. We'll lead them around one more lap, and we will go green here. 30 laps for this feature event. There goes the Stephen King Foundation pace car. We'll have our Lucy Olson green flag for John Hine and Logan Wentz. And just like that, the Pro Late Model Dirt Series is green at Lima Land. John Hine able to jump up front. It's quickly 2x2 behind him with Wentz and Baker. Caution flag will wave. Looks like Brian Dickens involved, and also Cole Ferguson, who had contact in that heat race. So just like that, that caution flag will wave, and we will get them lined back up and ready to go.
You said just like that, the Pro Dirt Late Model Series race is on, and boy, you confused me. 1 week, Travis, 1 week.
Sorry, division. One word can change so much.
Yes.
Well, seeing that 71 out front, I reverted back to the other series.
Yeah, we'll see if we can chalk one up for the old guys here. Like I said, though, I got a lot of really talented guys that are here to win. So, but the lights are off here, and I guess I got to go back to work.
John will lead us back to green here. Stephen King Foundation will jump off of turn number 3 over there. Single file restart. Our first of the night, so we'll see how this will play out. John Hine able, of course, with the control, able to jump out front. Wentz holds off Baker here for a moment. You go back in the pack, especially around a Brandon Templeton and Isaac Salas trying to make a move up front. Big move by Salas, though. That'll stack them up. That's from the 4th position on back as they're 3 wide. Salas all over the 97 of Baker for a moment as he, Grandy, and Templeton trying to make a move on the inside. Salas will clear as he falls into that 3rd position. Out front, it's still John Hine, Logan Wentz in 2nd. Salas leads Baker, Grandy, Templeton. And now Randy Shreves will enter the picture. Caution flag will wave. Looks like it's going to be Pat Boyce. He's in the pit area. Heavy contact to his right front. And just like that, we're 5 laps in, 5 laps down. John Hine, our leader, here after 5.
Track is definitely slicking up here a bit. That middle, there's a tire rolling down the track. But the top, I think you're going to see the top start to come in here. It should be interesting.
We saw the single file start to move up towards the wall there at the end of that 5-lap run. So the track ever changing here through the evening. Top 5, it's John Hine, Logan Wentz, Isaac Salas, Baker, and Grandy. As they'll double them up for this latest restart, Stephen King Foundation pace car to the infield. It's John Hine, Baker, first 2 on that outside line. Green flag waves. Logan Wentz and Isaac Salas quickly go 3 wide with Baker in row number 2. John Hine able to stay out front as it's quickly 2 by 2 behind him. There's Randy Shreves. He'll try to save it. Verstraeten also out of shape for a moment. Dittmer involved as well as his front clip has come off. Caution flag will wave. Looks like Kelly Wheeler involved. Anthony Morano back there as well. Gavin Chatham on the other end of the track around. So plenty of racing action there as we're 9 laps in, 21 laps to go.
Yeah, I came out of turn 2 there, and it looked like a plane crash along the backstretch. Parts are laid everywhere. See cars everywhere, and oh man, I think Templeton just lost the tires rolling down the track. So you're right, a lot of action here.
It all started with one area, and then it slowly trickled throughout the field, and ended up at both ends of the track when it finally came done. Pat Boyce looks like he's still in the work area with 4 laps complete. Brandon Templeton, Gavin Chatham will now move into the work area. Templeton was one of those drivers that was moving up through the field and that we had circled as someone that could move up through the field and get to the front. So it's John Hine, Isaac Salas, Logan Wentz, Butch Baker, and Joseph Grandy, your top 5. John Hine takes us back to green quickly here during the single file restart. We've got to go back to the 4th position where they're side by side for a moment before falling back in line. Isaac Salas slides up, contact with the 71. It won't be able to complete it as John Hine's able to hold him off with 20 laps to go. Salas trying to make a move on John for the lead. He'll try to slide up there. That momentum on the outside keeps John in the lead as they head off into 3. Cross him over on the exit of 4. 18 laps to go. The front 3 have now broken away. It's Hine, Salas, Wench, your front 3. Then you've got a gap back to Baker and Grandy. Salas continues to use that inside line before sliding up and across the 71 as they continue to trade that lead back and forth. This time at the line it will be just Salas ahead of the 71 as now Isaac's able to take over command of that lead down the backstretch. Morano to the inside, and that will bring out the caution. You see heavy damage to the front of that 32 machine.
Yeah, that little turd got me, but good on him here. Maybe I can follow him and learn something here a little bit. So a little fun there, trading slide jobs there back and forth.
Yeah, the front 3 broke away. Logan Wentz was watching on from the 3rd position as Salas was able to finally clear John and take over the lead right before that caution flag waved.
forgotten how hard it is to have somebody in your ear talking while you're racing. Oh man, but it's all good though. I like this. We're having fun.
It's like that one of those races where Kyle Busch had Joey Logano in his ear.
Yeah, I'll try not to drop any four-letter words here. Roger would not like that.
So green flag waves. It's Isaac Salas out front, John Hines second, Wentz in third. Baker in fourth. Grandy continues to run in fifth. Is that your front five? Racy back in the pack as Verstraeten's trying to move back up inside that top 10. He's looking to the inside of Kurt Schatzer. Or, I'm sorry, riding right in front of Kurt Schatzer. Trevor Giroux looking to the inside, trying to make a move as that outside line has become the preferred line here with 13 laps to go. Ooh, big move by Baker. He'll make contact with Wentz. That'll slow down Baker's momentum as now Grandy able to move around the outside. Now he's got Dean Reynolds to his outside, Giroux to his inside. A dozen laps to go. It's still Isaac Salas out front. He and John Hine have broken away from the rest of the pack. As Dean Reynolds now part of a group. Baker into the wall hard. A tire falls off his right front. As he and Gavin Chatham will make contact. Morano into the back of the 97 now. Baker trying to get into the work area. As he finally will, it looks like. Now the leaders will go on the outside of him. As now it looked like Wheeler also into the work area. And that will bring out the caution flag. Heavy damage to both those late models. And just like that, we'll go to single digits. 8 laps to go, John. What's it gonna take to get back by Isaac?
I think it'll take a good start by me and then probably a mistake by him. It seems pretty locked down on the top. I'm going to kick myself. I should have just stayed up there on that last restart when I lost it to him, but I got cute and was just trying to keep him off balance. But he stayed disciplined and was able to get me there. So, like I said, kudos to him for that. But, yeah, this top, it's pretty well locked down now. But now the thing you have to worry about, if you're on me, you're right up here and you're right against this wall out here. And I'm going to tell you, this isn't all smooth out here. You're going to get up there, and it's real easy to get that back end into the wall. And if Isaac can do that, I got to be ready to turn under him, and maybe that's my only shot here.
Well, the lights are off that Stephen King Foundation pace cars. He'll look to pull on in, and we'll have 8-lap shootout here at Lima Land for this late model feature event here for the Pro Late Model Division, Coast to Coast Racing League. Green flag waves, and we're back to racing action. John Hine trying to track down that 5 machine out front as he's got Logan Wentz behind him still. Grandy now leads that second group as he's got Trevor Giroux up 8 spots. He's just 1 spot shy of our hard charger, who currently is Kurt Schatzer. He's up 9 spots from 18th into the top 10th in 9th. As Giroux will have issues, he'll fall back. He's off the track and off the pace. Oh, and it looks like he's back, so just a glitch on his part. Three laps to go. It's still Isaac Salas, John Hine, Logan Wentz, your front 3. Back
How many timeouts we got? Can we take them all now?
Looking for a break in action here. One of our longest green flag runs of the night here.
I'm old. I'm winded.
And coming to the white flag, it is going to be Isaac Salas. Looking to pick up another dirt victory here on Thursday Night Thunder. Through 3 and 4, it will be that 5 machine of Isaac Salas, your winner. John Hine second, Logan Wentz third, Grandy fourth, and Giroux in 5th. Of course, we'll talk to your top 3 finishers. As it's Isaac Salas picking up another late model victory here on Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. Of course, your finishing lineup over to the left. As John will bring in Logan Wentz. He's our 3rd place finisher tonight.
Yes, sir. Pretty fun racing out there.
So Logan, you made your way up to 3rd. It was a lot of following that 71 of John Hine in front of you. You kind of settled in there nicely. What was it going to take to be able to either make a move on John and try to get up there to Salas up ahead?
Well, I kind of just figured out the track a little too late. I figured it out with about 10 to go after that last caution, that restart. I kind of fell into a little bit of a groove, pulled up, and made one mistake and dropped back a little too far, and just couldn't recoup from it.
We saw some cautions throughout that event. Was there anything that came into play from a momentum standpoint that could have helped you besides finding that groove maybe earlier?
Most definitely. It really would have helped if John restarted on the bottom, but he took the advantage of the momentum up on the high side.
Well, it was a good run there. You end up 3rd. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
I gotta thank Castleberry Flagstone for keeping me employed each week, Epilepsy Foundation of America, GT Screen Printing, Moreno Racing, and Hi Mom Lens.
Well, great run, Logan. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah, it was nice to be up here, especially in these late models. They're not really my thing.
Well, a good run there by Logan Wentz. He'll come home 3rd tonight. John, we talked throughout that one there. You had the lead early. Isaac was able to get past you. Anything there, especially that last 8-lap shootout, that could have played out differently for you?
Yeah, if I would have just stuck to what I was doing, I just started searching and everything else, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just stuck with what I known. And after that, I mean, Isaac, I mean, he made a great move. Nothing to take away from him, and he did a great job there. He didn't make any mistakes once he got around me, and from what I could see, we were actually pretty even from that point on. So I gave him the room, and with Isaac, you can't do that. You cannot open the door for him. He'll kick it open and take advantage of it. So, you know what? We'll move on, and it was a nice tune-up. We'll get ready for next week, and we'll see what we can do.
Well, a good run there, both from the heat race on, coming home 2nd tonight. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I like this new colors, new car. I want to say hi to all my friends out at the Bass Pro Shops. Come by Bass Pro in St. Charles, Missouri. Come by, say hi to me. So if you're in the St. Louis area, look for the Bass Pro there in St. Charles. Come in and get a club card. Also want to say thank you to Magnum Race Designs for putting this whole look together. And look for them on Facebook and hit them up and have Brian and them cats get you set up. Also like to thank Gambler Motorsports, all my teammates and all that kind of stuff. A lot of fun. None of them were here tonight, but hopefully we'll be back next week.
Well, great run tonight. That's John Hine, our 2nd place finisher. We'll now bring in our winner. It's the 5 of Isaac Salas. And John and Isaac, since you two were able to battle on the track, John, I'll let you probe Isaac's night here at Limaland.
Oh boy.
You turd, you couldn't let me have one. You can't just let one of the old guys win once, can you?
Dude, I'm sorry. You beat me in the heat race. I thought it was only fair to beat you in the feature.
Oh, so you let me have the bill, you win. I see how it is. But I tell you, you know what? You did a great job. You didn't make any mistakes there. You know, I guess I got to ask, because I left the door. I started searching a little bit. I think after one of the restarts, you got up beside me, and I thought, well, maybe it's a little quicker. So I tried to move a little bit down. What did you think when you realized, ha, I've got him, because he's out of his rhythm now?
That was exactly all I thought was, oh, he's out of his rhythm. The only reason I truly felt I had a good run on you was I was coming through 3 and 4, and you kind of did it's almost like a mini slider. It wasn't really a slider at the same time, but you lost just enough speed through corner exit that I had a run coming on you, so I knew I had to launch it pretty far, and then our slide job battle was on from there. So.
Yeah, it was, and yeah, that was. And I know exactly what you're talking. It's I hit the slick, and I had to wait on it, or I was going to spin the tires. And by the time I could get back into it, yeah, you were there, and it was. Yeah, if you heard somebody cussing, that was me. So that's all right.
Well, see, racer. racer to racer, you understand these things. Like when I'm like, say like, that you came up and lost a little bit of speed, like you know exactly, you know, kind of what happened. And then it makes it fun, man. I mean, I think I leaned on you one of those times, so my bad there. But
No,
other than that, I thought it was great.
No, that's what the fenders are for. You know, leaning and not wrecking. That takes two to do that and pull it off. And you know, I trust you enough, and yeah, I knew you weren't going to wreck me. And then you know, and you know, the roles are reversed. I'll do everything in my power to make sure that's the same thing there. But congratulations on your win here tonight. And anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, big thanks to all those guys over at Venom Racing. We're gonna try to keep this win streak going. Butch got the 358s, and I got the last two, so we'll see if we can make it all four. So that'd be pretty cool. But thank you to Dean, the Super Dare Car Series. Thank you to Magnum Race Designs, Got Your Six Racing Network, RSN Trackside, Mission 22, everything that they do for our veterans. Thanks to my Grams with Top Notch Trucking. Thank you guys for the broadcast. It's cool to see. It's cool to see a little change. Get to talk to two different broadcast teams, basically. Thank you to my family for watching. I know that they're watching. Thanks to my girlfriend for watching. And I'd just like to say, welcome back, John. It was fun to race with you again. And like I told you, you look fast in a late model. So welcome back.
Yeah, it's my bread and butter, and it feels good to be back, and I really, really appreciate that. It's been a long last 6 months or so, but it is good to be back, and that makes me feel really, really good. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, just like that, that is Isaac Salas, our winner, and Isaac will look to go 4 for 4 here from Homestead, Miami tonight. As we're going to take a quick commercial break, we're going to leave the dirt of Lima Land, head south to South Beach, and take on Homestead, Miami next. You're watching the Coast to Coast Racing Network and Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing League here on Extreme eSpeed TV. It's Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. As our Thursday night this week comes to a close from Homestead Miami Speedway here for our Xfinity Series division. Cars are out on the track getting practice in. Currently looking like about 18 cars set to take on action as we look at those point standings coming into tonight. Isaac Salas, who we watched just win the Pro Late Models, is our points leader. 1 win, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s. Brandon Dittmer second. Daniel Blau, our other winner this season, third. Colin Johnson fourth. Jeremy Tate in fifth currently. Looking at the practice session that we currently have underway, we'll take a look at the best times here during the session. It's Keith Jackson atop the charts, a 32:41 right there with Jack Clevenger. Isaac Salas looking to go 4 for 4, third fastest. McLaren fourth, Johnston fifth. Then you have Donovan Ross, Greg Parmalee, Brandon Dittmer, Tim Chapman, and Terry Landis, your top 10 fastest cars on the track. So watching Terry Landis out on the track. Currently the only car out there on the track, as our practice session should wind up here shortly. And we will move on to qualifying, and then of course our feature event here for the Xfinity Series tonight. Looks like we could be in for 70 laps tonight. And just like that, the qualifying session will begin. You can see the sun has set here in Homestead, Miami. Night racing here at South Beach. Technically south of South Beach, down in Homestead. As cars will enter the track, we'll start to get times showing here shortly. Of course, this track has changed since it's built in the late 90s. Of course, a product of Hurricane Andrew. Was originally more like a Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Flat corners, more square corners as well, as it went through a renovation, adding banking, of course, and the progressive banking that it is known for now with great racing. Colin Johnson's taken the green flag. One of many cars out there currently under green flag conditions for their qualifying session. Barry Offit off of turn number 2. Times are starting to come in. Keith Jackson up top the charts. Brandon Dittmer second, Dan McLaren in third. Colin Johnson, a nice lap. He'll jump up to second fastest. Isaac Salas, fourth fastest. Pat Boy, sixth currently. He looks to finish his second lap. Nice run by Terry Landis. He'll shoot to the third fastest position. Jacob Butcher, 13th fastest his first lap. He'll look to improve here on lap number 2. Here's Tim Chapman in his 37 machine, currently 16th fastest. Up atop the charts, it's Keith Jackson, Colin Johnston, Mark Gilbert, Terry Landis, and Jack Clevenger, your top 5 fastest. Tim Chapman will improve to 14th fastest, as it looks like all cars have made their lap. So the track will go quiet here as our qualifying session comes to a close. Keith Jackson, Colin Johnston will wind up on row number 1 and lead us to green here tonight at Homestead, Miami. Good lap by Terry Landis up there, 4th fastest. Jack Clevenger, 5th. Dan McLaren 6th, Brandon Dittmer 7th, Isaac Salas will start 8th, Gary Offit and Roland Olson will round out our top 10. 11th through 18th will line up Greg Parmalee, Coffey, Boyce, Chapman, Ross, Kramer, Butcher, and Roger Craig for our 18-car field here tonight for the Xfinity division. Should be another exciting night here on the asphalt. As always, we normally see some long green flag runs, some timely cautions, and of course, great finishes at the end. And just like that, they will get gridded on the track here. Lined up, and we'll go through that RSN trackside starting lineup. Starting on row number 1, it's going to be Keith Jackson alongside Colin Johnson. Mark Gilbert, row number 2 next to Terry Landis. Starting 5th, it's Jack Clevenger alongside Dan McLaren. Starting 7th, it's Brandon Dittmer next to Isaac Salas, looking to go 4 for 4. Gary Offord in 9th, Roland Olson rounding out the front 10 from the 10th position. 11th will be Greg Parmalee next to Jason Coffey. 13th, Pat Boyce next to Tim Chapman. Donovan Ross in 15th next to Preston Kramer. And our 9th and final row, it's Jacob Butcher next to the 747 of Roger Craig. So they are lined up there on the track. There's Keith Jackson ready to go, as the Stephen King Foundation pace car will lead them off pit road. So that Stephen King Foundation pace car will head off of the track. Keith Jackson, Colin Johnston will lead us to green. 70 laps here from Homestead, Miami tonight as we look to wrap up Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. Green flag waves and we are racing here on the asphalt in South Florida. Terry Landis goes around in turn number 1. That'll bring out the caution up into Pat Boyce. Also into the 4 machine of Greg Parmalee. As those cold tires, cold track create a messy start here to our Homestead Miami race. Out front, it's going to be Keith Jackson as we'll get lined back up. Caution number 1 here on lap number 1 at Miami. So they'll get lined back up behind the Stephen King Foundation pace car. Terry Landis had a great starting spot. As now he'll get work done to his 161 machine. Pat Boyce into pits, Preston Kramer, Roger Craig as well. Greg Parmalee, I'm sure, did as well as he had some heavy damage as he hit the 161 sideways in turn number 2. So caution laps, of course, here on the Asphalt Series do count. So Keith Jackson will rack up some laps led here under caution. So our first lead change of the night is McLaren watches on from the 3rd position. Side by side behind them as it's Dittmer and Colin Johnston. Jackson staying to the inside as McLaren up alongside now, or behind Gilbert through 3 and 4. As they'll trade it back, Jackson will lead lap number 7. Great racing action behind the leaders as well. 3 wide heading off into turn number 3. That's Salas, Dittmer, and Johnston. It's a battle for 4th. Up front it's still Jackson in front of now McLaren, and Gilbert will settle into that 3rd position. Johnston's going to be the victor here in this battle for 4th. Isaac Salas up to the 5th spot. Dittmer now settles into 6th. McLaren for the lead out front as he'll power to the inside of Jackson. McLaren will lead lap number 8. As Jackson again powers back on the inside. Great racing action, especially up here at the front. You go back in the pack. Tim Chapman, Jacob Butcher, Donovan Ross currently battling for the 9th position. As McLaren will use that outside momentum and hold on to the lead. Here's that battle between Clevenger, Chapman, Butcher, and Ross. Good close racing action there as well. As now we look up ahead to Brandon Dittmer. He's settled into the 5th spot in front of Isaac Salas. Our hard charger here early is that 85 of Jacob Butcher. He's up 7 spots, started 17th, now into 10th. As up front, it's Dan McLaren. He's got about a second lead. I'm sorry, 3/10 of a second lead over Jackson. It's a second back to Mark Gilbert in the 3rd position, as you see that space between the front 2 and 3rd. As Johnston and Gilbert battle for that 3rd spot. Johnston now up into 3rd. Gilbert now has Johnston in front of him, still now under attack from Dittmer as McLaren continues to lead. We're a dozen laps in of this 70-lap feature event here for our Xfinity division. Right now, this is one of the closest battles on the track. The other right here is you've got Donovan Ross, Roland Olson looking to the inside of Butcher. Butcher will fall back to the 11th spot here momentarily. Up ahead, Jack Clevenger in the 8th spot. Still side-by-side action here in this battle for the 9th spot. Why not make it 3 wide? Butcher will move to that outside. Roland Olson in the middle. That'll give Ross the spot. As now Butcher will make his way around Roland Olson. Roland Olson holding on strong in that inside line though, as he looks to stay inside the top 10. Almost contact there. Great job of Roland staying off Butcher. As now just up ahead of him, you've got Brandon Dittmer. looking to the inside of Gilbert. Gilbert's got that outside momentum, as does Isaac Salas. That'll open the door for Salas in the 5, as he'll move into the top 5 up in front of the 83 of Dittmer. Isaac Salas right up along the wall. Dittmer right in his tracks, as now Gilbert will move up there as well. Still Dan McLaren out front. He's got about a 2.5 lead over Keith Jackson in second, and then it's another 2.5 back to the 3rd place car, who is Colin Johnson right up ahead of where we're at now. As now Gilbert looks to the inside of Isaac Salas. We'll jump in the in-car of Brandon Dittmer. He currently rides in the 6. You see Gilbert and Isaac Salas up ahead. Gilbert tries to slide up in front of Salas. Salas will cross him over on the exit of turn number 4. Great view here from the Dittmer machine. Still side by side up ahead there with Gilbert and Salas. Working lap number 17, of course, here at Homestead Miami, that tire wear should come into play. You see Gilbert not able to hold on there. That'll open the door for Dittmer to his outside as well. Is now it's Salas, Dittmer, 4th and 5th. Trying to track down Colin Johnson, not far ahead now. It's a 2-second gap up to the 2nd place car, so plenty of great racing action here back in the pack. Ooh, it looks like Isaac Salas into the wall there slightly as he's trying to track down Colin Johnston. Dittmer will move down. Look to pick up some momentum there, as now it's Clevenger up into the 6th position. Clevenger started 5th, quickly fell back to the back half of the top 10, as now he's worked his way back up into the 6th position. Up ahead, it's still Dan McLaren leading, Keith Jackson 2nd, Colin Johnson in the currently the 4th position as Isaac Salas moves around him. Looked like the 13 of Colin Johnson got up into the wall there, as that could open that door for Dittmer in the 83 to now move into the top 4. Of course, the preferred line up there against the wall is also an opportunity to get into it, just like Dittmer. We saw Isaac Salas a moment ago, and of course Colin Johnson on the previous lap, as now Colin's able to get past Dittmer now as he made contact with turn 4 wall. Jack Clevenger will enter this 3-way battle as well. Dan McLaren continues the lead. He took over the lead on lap number 8, now working lap number 22. So with that, lap number 22, we'll look through the field here before some halfway pit stops. It's Dan McLaren out front. He took over the lead on lap number 8. Continues the lead here as crosses the line for lap number 22. Keith Jackson started on the pole, led off and on the first 7 laps. He now runs in the 2nd spot. Isaac Salas runs 3rd, up 5 spots from his starting position, slowly and meticulously cutting through this field, as he looks to go 4 for 4 tonight on Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. Right behind him is Brandon Dittmer trying to hold off Jack Clevenger, as Brandon Dittmer currently up 3 spots, runs in the 4th spot. 78 of Jack Clevenger running in 5th. It's right where he started. He's had a yo-yo night here early. fell back to the back half of the top 10, now back into his 5th starting spot. Starting 6th, running 6th, it's Colin Johnston. He started in 2nd, so he has slowly moved back through the field. He's now under attack by Donovan Ross, who runs in 7th, currently up 8 spots. Just behind them in the 37 machine is Tim Chapman, up 6 spots from his starting spot. Our hard charger here early in this one, up to the 9th starting spot. I'm sorry, now up to 8th. I'm sorry, running 9th. It's Roger Craig. Jason Coffey in the 10th position, up 2 spots. Preston Kramer runs 11th. Jacob Butcher right behind him as we work lap number 25. He's up 5 spots into the top 12. Roland Olson currently running in the 13th position. Greg Parmalee behind him in 14th. Gary Offit 15th. In 16th, Mark Gilbert is on the lead lap he's now 1 lap down as he is in the pit area. And Pat Boyce runs in 17th. He's currently 3 laps down. So Dan McLaren continues to lead Keith Jackson here as we work lap number 26 of 70. Jackson's picked up some major ground here early. Got to wonder if McLaren is saving some tires here as we get closer and closer to that halfway mark. Jackson to the inside down the backstretch here at Homestead, Miami. Jackson will take over the lead from McLaren. McLaren running a little bit lower there, so maybe the tire wear has already come into play for the 88. So Jackson continues to lead now here. It's his 3rd time leading as they'll make their way to pit road. Leaders are on pit road here, lap number 29. Roger Craig will lead lap number 29. Johnston in 2nd. Has not pitted yet. As always, we'll see how this cycles around. As the 747 of Roger Craig will make his way to pit road, as will Colin Johnston. Keith Jackson now re-entering the track. He's got McLaren right behind him. Isaac Salas isn't going to be far back either, as that front 3 is going to close up. That huge gap that Jackson and McLaren had is now gone, as now Isaac Salas is a part of that group. He'll actually move into the 2nd spot as Colin Johnson will regain the lead during pit stops. So a caution on lap number 1, really corner number 1. Went back to green, and we've been green ever since. It's Keith Jackson out front. Dan McLaren into that second spot as he's able to get past Isaac Salas. Dittmer in 4th, Mark Gilbert 5th, as Clevenger will fall back to the 8th spot during green flag pit stops. As we're about 3 laps away from the halfway mark here for our Xfinity Division feature event. Jackson continues to lead. One thing the green flag pit stops did tonight that they normally do, separated a lot of the cars throughout the field. Closest battle currently on the track is this battle for the 10th spot with Donovan Ross, Jason Coffey, and Roland Olson. This is Keith Jackson up front, stretching his lead out over McLaren. McLaren doing the same with his lead over the 3rd place car of Isaac Salas. As we'll take a look at our Tim Chapman Racing drone shot. Leaders there. You got to go back to Roger Craig in the 9th spot for our closest battle currently. So out front, still Keith Jackson. He will lead here as we cross the halfway mark. 35 laps complete, 35 more to go here from Homestead. Boyce to the inside. He currently runs in the 17th spot. 2 laps down. Not the night that he had planned after a great start. He and Terry Landis. Landis 4 laps down. Terry had the 4th fastest time in qualifying. He now runs in the 18th spot. He was part of that lap number 1, turn number 1 incident. But no quit in that 161 team. 25 laps to go as they head down the backstretch. Jackson to the inside through 3 and 4. Finally will make his move to regain the lead. He will have him cleared at the exit, and Jackson will go back to the lead with 24 laps to go. See Terry Landis there. He's now up to 17th as he has passed Gary Offit. Offit went off the track at lap number 39. McLaren closes back up. Our tightest battle currently on the track is these two at the front of the field. And as we work, 22 laps to go, we'll go through the field. Keith Jackson, our leader. He's led 5 different times here tonight, trading that lead with Dan McLaren a few of those times. As he started on the pole and currently runs in first. Not far behind him there in that 88 Machines, Dan McLaren. He's also led throughout the evening. He started in 6th, so he has been up to the top 2 a majority of this one. And we'll look to chase down the 113 up ahead. Isaac Salas looking to go 4 for 4 tonight. Currently runs in the 3rd spot. He's 8 seconds behind that battle for the lead. Brandon Dittmer behind him, up 3 spots into 4th. Jack Clevenger back up into the 5th spot. His yo-yo night has continued. After green flag pit stops, he fell back to the back half of the top 10 again and now has made his way back up into 5th. Currently running in 6th is the 3rd place starting car, Mark Gilbert. He ran in the top 3 early in this one. Now runs in the 6th position. Our hard charger. Oh, and the caution flag comes out. It looks like it's Jacob Butcher. So you see he went around on the front stretch. Backed into that inside wall with 20 laps to go. So our second caution of the night will come out. And it is almost pay window here as we get closer and closer to that finish here on lap number 50. Pit stops being made. Everyone coming down for a fresh set of rubber. As we watch that exit pit road, of course, starting on the pole, Keith Jackson will have that preferred pit stall. See Roger Craig down and away. McLaren down and away. Jackson will hold on to the lead. Big move for Roger Craig as he will come out second. So +5 there for Roger Craig. Jackson will come out with the lead. Craig second, McLaren third, Salas fourth, Brandon Dittmer in fifth. Stephen King Foundation pace car out front. We'll have another Mission 22 restart, our second of the night, with a Lucy Olson green flag. As the cars start to get lined up, the lights should go off that Stephen King Foundation pace car this time by. So 2x2, it's going to be Jackson Craig, row number 1. McLaren Salas in row number 2 should be exciting as well. So 2x2, they get set to go. Green flag waves. Jackson will shoot out front. Roger Craig trying to hold off Dan McLaren. McLaren will move to the inside. Isaac Salas rides in that 4th position through 1 and 2. So McLaren and Isaac quickly move up into the top 3, now trying to chase down Jackson up front. Dittmer into the wall from the 4th spot. That'll open the door for Jack Clevenger to move up into the top 4. Jackson continues to run that inside. McLaren up along the wall in 1 and 2 as he's got Salas to his inside. Ooh, Gilbert shoots across the track. Into the wall, up and over, hard down the backstretch. Into that outside wall for the 17. No caution as of yet. 14 laps to go now. It's still Jackson up front. He's separated from McLaren by about a half of a second. Now Isaac Salas sits in 3rd. Looks like Gilbert was able to clear the track. Dittmer now runs in the 4th spot. Jack Clevenger back in 5th. See if McLaren's able to track down Jackson one more time here tonight. He's done it a couple times. You can see Jackson continues to lead up front. Dan McLaren back about 0.3 of a second. Isaac Salas not far behind. Less than 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go here for Keith Jackson out front. Dan McLaren now 0.4 of a second back, another 0.4 back to Isaac Salas, and then it's just 1.68 seconds back to Jack Clevenger, who's worked his way past Dittmer again. Dittmer now looking back to the inside. Colin Johnston not far back as well, as this is now the closest battle on the track, with coming to 8 laps to go. So Clevenger able to hold off Johnston and Dittmer here, and now there's Donovan Ross to the inside. Quickly becomes a 4-car battle here. Up front it's still Keith Jackson. Just under half of a second lead over Dan McLaren. Dan again looking to chase down Jackson one more time for the lead and for the win. Unable to get it under about 0.3 of a second this latest run. Four laps to go just like that. It's still Keith Jackson up front. He stretched his lead out over Dan McLaren to a second now. Closest battle on the track remains that one, the back half of the top 10. As Preston Kramer up into 8th, now trying to track down Donovan Ross. Kramer trying to move on into a little bit further into the top 10. Donovan Ross up into 7th. Donovan Ross currently our hard charger. Preston Kramer gets by him. That could flip easily into Preston Kramer's advantage. As we work 3 laps to go, still Keith Jackson out front. You can see Dan McLaren, Isaac Salas, and Jack Clevenger chasing from beyond. Two laps to go this time by. As Keith Jackson started on the pole. Led 5 different occasions. Took over the lead on lap number 46. Held on during the latest round of pit stops. And as he goes through 3 and 4, he does scrape that wall in 3 and 4. McLaren does cut into that lead as it's now under a second as the white flag waves. Isaac Salas still safely in that 3rd position. That lead is now ballooned back up over a second for Keith Jackson. So looking for one more set of clean corners through 3 and 4. Stay off the wall he will. And the 13 of Keith Jackson comes down the front stretch. He will win Homestead Xfinity Series Division here on Gambler Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder. McLaren second, Isaac Salas in third. As we'll wait for our top 3 finishers to join us up here in the booth. It's going to be Keith Jackson, Dan McLaren, Isaac Salas, Jack Clevenger, Colin Johnston, your top 5 finishers. As we'll be joined by our 3rd place finisher, it's Isaac Salas. Isaac, you get up to the 3rd spot. You'll come up short tonight, but walk us through your Xfinity Series race here at Homestead tonight.
Yeah, man, it was a fun little learning experience. Dodged that wreck right at the beginning there. Wow, let me tell you, that was nerve-wracking to say the least. But after that, man, it was just trying to hit my marks and try not to make too many mistakes, and definitely love the wall, apparently. I think I got my stripe probably 20 times. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, it was pretty fun trying to learn the lines and trying to keep up with Dan and Keith.
It looked like you made your way slowly up through the field, got up into the 5th spot, and then it looked like at least Dan and Keith just were too much. You weren't really able to close that gap. Is that what you felt out there in the car?
Yeah, basically, and I think it's just kind of a laps thing almost. I know that these two love the Xfinity cars, and I know they're really good on asphalt, so we'll see. I feel like that's what it was, though. I think if I could have just had some more seat time in these bad boys, I think I could be a little bit better.
Well, still a great night here on Thursday Night Thunder, and another opportunity to give those sponsors a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to all those guys over at Venom Racing. We almost got the sweep of the night. Dan came up one spot short of making it a sweep of all the races, so pretty awesome showing out here. today. Dean, the Super Rare Car Series. Don't matter what car I'm in, so I always appreciate the support from him. Magnum Race Designs for this beautiful Busch Light car. Guide Your 6 Racing Network, RSN Trackside. Everybody here in Coast to Coast, Mission 22, and everything they do for our veterans. They do a lot. It's pretty awesome, actually. It really is. Top notch chuckle with my Gramps. Thank you, Travis, for the broadcast. As always, it's always fun to go back and watch your broadcasts. I enjoy them a lot. And other than that, thanks to my friends, my family, my girlfriend for watching and supporting.
Well, another great night, another great night here on Thursday Night Thunder for you, Isaac. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Travis. Have a good one.
That's Isaac Salas, our third place finisher tonight. Finishing one spot ahead, his Venom Racing teammate Dan McLaren. Dan, walk us through your night. A lot of action up at the front between you and Keith. What was making it so racy tonight that you were able to trade that spot back and forth multiple times?
Just following each other around the track, out and and brought home the win. So congrats to him. But yeah, the first bit of the run, that was good. I felt like I pulled a good lead and everything felt right. And then Keith figured it out and got the win. But all in all, that was a great race.
How hard is it here, especially at a track like Homestead Miami, where the preferred line's right up against the wall, and you can if you're hitting your marks, it's an advantage for you if somebody else messes up, but also you can't go over the edge because you'll give up any gains that you were able to make during that run.
Exactly. Like I just told Keith that I think it was after the second pit stop. He got in the wall, so I got around him. But then the next corner, I messed up and I got in the wall, and that allowed him to catch back up to me. So, yeah, hitting your marks at this track is crucial. Like you mess up a little, and you pay big for it. So he drove a perfect race. So good for him.
Well, as usual here in the Xfinity Series with you, Dan, another great run. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Absolutely, all the fellas at Venom Racing, great bunch of guys. It's good to be back. I've been off for a few months, so it's fun to finally be back on track with everybody. And VMR Wraps.
Well, a great run tonight, Dan. We look forward to talking to you again soon here on Thursday Night Thunder.
Awesome. Thanks, Travis.
That's Dan McLaren, our second place finisher tonight. And now from Victory Lane, our winner from Homestead Miami, it's the 13th Keith Jackson. Keith, we just talked to Dan. You guys had a great battle up front all night long. How hard is it here at Homestead Miami to make sure that you're hitting your marks and don't give up a lead and open up that door for the guy behind you?
Yeah, it was pretty tough trying to keep Dan back there. I was telling him in the waiting room, he showed me that high side. I wasn't very good at it, but I was able to kind of see how he was entering and helped me a whole lot. But you brush that wall and you get hooked in it, then it just kills. It takes another lap and a half, it seems like, to get back going.
You guys had broken away a majority of this race. What was the difference between you guys' able to pull away from everybody else and keep the battle just between the two of you?
I think we were just a little bit easier on the tires, so we were able to, stay at a faster pace for a longer period there.
Well, a great run here tonight, Keith, for you to come home away with the victory. Any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Just the guys that race with me, Jack, Devo, Gary, Greg. You guys putting this thing on. It's a lot of fun. Something to do in the wintertime.
Well, a great run, Keith. We look forward to seeing you again here on Thursday Night Thunder in the future. And your winner tonight here from Homestead, Miami, it's going to be the 13th of Keith Jackson. So just like that, the top three have been interviewed. Another victory has been awarded here on Thursday Night Thunder. Great racing action all night long. Of course, Marty on the call earlier in the night. And then we ended up with late models and Xfinity division action coming to a close. As always, we appreciate you tuning in to the Coast to Coast Racing League. You can, of course, learn more at c2crl.com. We'll be back in racing action. We've got the Friday Night Lights tomorrow night. And then, of course, Week 5 will kick off next Sunday night with another exciting week of racing action here in the 2024 racing season. As always, I'm Travis Pearsall with the Extreme eSpeed TV here on the Coast to Coast Racing League. We appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you at a racetrack soon.